Morning, Connie.
Morning, Jamie.
Yeah.
Jerry rigged. And it is.
For CTA, I was complaining that I had locked down in one of their meetings and pictures a little fuzzy, so I just kind of reported it. That's a little not the best quality picture. So next meeting that I attended, I actually was in the building, and some guy come in, he kind of wiped the camera off with a piece of cloth. I'm like, really? That's all we're doing here? Just needing some Windex.
Yeah.
They had a pretty challenging meeting a couple of weeks ago. They needed to go into executive session. So there's all these people that were in on the call, so they pulled it off. Some people got off the call. Some people said they thought we were going to lose somebody, but it didn't happen. So once everybody kind of jumped off, and it was just left to the board. They had to cut off the live stream to do that.
Yeah.
Did the executive session and came back into public session. But ended up working out okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, they hadn't done, nobody had planned for that before.
Can't rehearse that.
No.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi, it's Jen.
Hi, Jen, it's Eric. Everybody still there?
Yep.
Who's everybody?
Rosemary,
I believe Rich. Hi, yep. Hey, Gary. Yep.
Morning, Chris.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Good.
I'm all good anyway. I can speak for myself.
David, can you hear everything?
I can hear everybody. Yep. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning, who's that? Duran line? Not yet. I'm not sure if we have a quorum yet. We have Gary, Chris, Rosemary, Evan. That makes for a quorum.
There we go. Well, I got 9:29. Shall we give it like another minute just so?
Yeah.
All in real.
Yeah, Sarah May said she was going to join us, so
Yeah.
give her a minute to call in.
Second, good. So the IDA meeting's at 9:30 and the CRC is like 9:45. Is that what the deal was?
If things go according to schedule, yes.
Okay. Exciting agenda, Jamie. Exciting.
Yeah.
Hey, we need to talk about the hockey rink when
pastimes.
Still playing, huh?
Still involved.
Hey, it's Ray.
Morning, Ray.
We had rattled around the county for quite a while until somebody realized, gee, just call Jamie, he's the subject matter expert on all matters.
Let's talk Zamboni.
We need a new Zamboni, is that the deal? It's like it's private.
It's got a lot of hours on it.
Anybody familiar with the wonderful old hockey song, I Want to Drive the Zamboni?
Of course, who isn't?
Good morning.
Hi, Sarah May.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Hey, Sarah May, nice article about, in the Gazette the other day.
Thanks. I wasn't really expecting that. I had talked to Sarah about the vaccine distribution, but she had a lot of questions about the business.
Yeah,
But it turned out nice.
I was a little disoriented by that too, because Aaron had said she was talking to you about vaccines, and then there you are, paper, and you're talking about the bakery, and I thought it was a great article.
Yeah. I know. It turned out fine. I think it was a nice positive article, but yeah, I wasn't really expecting that either.
Hey, you know, take it while you can get it. Right. Knowing Sarah, she probably still got the notes for the vaccination thing. So
Oh, yeah. No, I think we're in good shape. I'm excited for Sunday. I think that's going to be great over at the casino.
I think it's amazing. They sold out already. They're already, they sold out like in a day.
Oh, less than 24 hours. Yeah, that link went live and it was over.
So we got a quorum plus one. Do we think we need to wait for everybody else, or should we just start? Well, I'll do this.
Yeah, we've gotten all the yeses are all in attendance, so I think we can get
All
started.
right. Okay, well, then, first, let's call to order the meeting of the Schenectady County Industrial Development Agency fiscal audit for the purposes of reviewing the 2020 audit, which is included in the packet that emailed to all the members. And Jamie, are you leading that discussion, or is somebody there from the county?
Yeah, no, I'll go over it, but Maureen's here to answer any questions that might come up. But as you know, this has become a fairly standard practice every year. The audit was performed by Cusack and Company in mid-February. They've provided us with a clean and unqualified opinion with respect to the audit. There's no findings of any sort. There were no issues that were raised. In the material we provided you with the management letter, which is fairly standard, as well as the listing of the conduit debt, the old bonds that were issued years ago for Sunnyview, and you know the P&L and the balance sheet show that the agency had a strong year in 2020 with several projects that were undertaken. We ended the year with about $175,000 in cash on hand. The notes to the statement, again, pretty standard. There's nothing unusual about them. If anybody has any questions, Maureen or I can answer them.
Any questions? Any comments? Jamie, I think a vote of the audit committee is required to move this to the agenda of the IDA. Is that correct?
That is right.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the audit, 2020 audit. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion made by Evan and seconded by Carol May. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the 2020 audit is forwarded to the IDA board for consideration. There being no further business to come before the fiscal audit, may I have a adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, second. All in favor of adjourning the fiscal audit committee, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And then call to order the March 5th, 2021 board meeting of the County Industrial Development Agency. First order of business for us this morning is approval of the minutes of the December 4th, 2020 meeting. Any questions or comments about the December meeting, or may I have a motion and a second to approve those?
And I'm going to accept the meeting for December 4th, 2020 meeting.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next item on agenda, our treasurer's report. Let's take a motion, second, and maybe there's a little discussion. A motion and a second.
I make the motion.
Second.
Discussion, Jamie, want to lead us through this, please?
Yeah, hold on, Gary. I can't find mine.
What I remember right here?
The,
Maureen, why don't you do that?
Yeah, it's Maureen. It's reflecting the first 2 months of activity, which, as you might expect, it's not a lot going on, except that we got the second payment related to the solar project. So, very nicely, the county IDA has approximately $316,000 cash on hand, and it's the only expenses really we have right now so far is the PO box and 2 months of anticipated expense from our law firm. The P&L looks pretty good too. So not a lot of activity, but it's good activity.
Glad we got that check out for the post office box.
Yes, sir.
Any questions regarding the treasurer's report? Hearing no questions, having a motion, second, all in favor of accepting the treasurer's report, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Next item, resolution 492-21 final approval resolution for the Rivers Ledge project. And maybe I defer back to you.
Yep, so I think everyone's familiar with the project that is finally in motion. They have lined up their financing with M&T Bank, so that needs to be approved by the agency today because we have an interest in the property due to the pilot that's in place. So M&T Bank is making two different loans. One is $16,340,000. The other is $2,574,000. These are construction loans. Large project, as you know, very large site to be developed. They've taken a phased approach. So what the financing does is will allow for 8 buildings and 80 units, market rate apartments to be constructed. So that will get them started, and then assuming market conditions are favorable, and I'm sure in this year they will be, they'll move on to the next phase of the project at a later date. The resolution approves the mortgages with M&T Bank. It approves the pilot, which Ray can talk about, but it's a generous 5-year pilot, way above what we were getting from the old junkyard. So seeker has been completed. The only other disclosure on this in the resolution, as Maureen said, they paid their fee last year. They paid half their fee of $113,500. Because they're taking a phased approach, we're going to get half of the half that's still outstanding, which is about $56,000. So that should be coming in the next week or so when we get to the closing table.
As Jamie said, just to comment on the pilot, if I can, again, the old auto junkyard paid a little over $15,000 a year. This pilot, for the first 5 years, they'll pay $160 a year and then go to market rate on the taxes. We did that to accommodate the cleanup and the site costs, and the developer is really doing a new town park, riverfront access, improvements to the bike trail, connecting the site to city sewer. So there's a host of public infrastructure improvements that benefit the town and that the developer is paying for. This is really continues the momentum on the waterfront. It's just downriver from, or upriver, I'm not a nautical person, from the Mohawk Harbor, and it's a smart development, smart growth, because it was a former junkyard. And again, we love the amenities that the developer is building. Want to thank Brian Schramm the other day. They needed to expedite a approval for the town park they're building down there, and Brian quickly got us the approval that we needed from the Canal Corporation so they could stay on schedule. So we thank everyone who's been working on this project from day one.
Lee, could you elaborate a little bit? I'm sorry.
No.
I was just wondering if you could just speak to the timeline. When do we expect that the project will be completed, or at least some of those, public amenities? When should we expect to see those available?
They're building. Again, they were put on hold last year because of COVID. This was not essential construction, so the project had to stop for quite a period of time. They're doing site work now, which has been slowed by the winter. As Jamie said, they'll do the park and other improvements and the sewer hookups, build 80 units, show the bank that the lease up is going well, and then they'll go to the next 80. And that completes phase one. There's plans for even further phases down the line, but they're very confident that the lease up will be very good. As Jamie said, it's a very desirable location on the waterfront. So
sure.
They will be, the weather would just cooperate. It looks like it's going to cooperate next week. They've got all their permits. They've got to do some of the work. The site work is ongoing through the winter, but you'll start seeing a lot of activity out there once the weather breaks.
Yeah, I've been seeing them pretty busy. I can see them from across the river, so they've been busy at work. But and I was just wondering, with the 80 units, so there's 2 sets of 80 units going in for phase one, and how many do we expect total? Is there a sense of that?
Well, there was a second phase along Aqueduct Road that included some senior units. That part of the project is less defined. Again, I think their focus is on the first 160. They have talked to the town, and there was some strong support for doing some senior units. So that is a little less defined, but they're doing it right. And again, this developer just completed the Starbuck Island project in Troy. That's getting great reviews. Again, redeveloping a brownfield site. So they're really excited. I think we'll know more on the second phase later this year.
Sure. Thank you. That's very helpful.
Are there any other questions or comments? We do need a motion to second.
Chairman, I'll make a motion for final approval of the Riverfront project.
Have a second.
I'll second.
Renee seconds, Evan makes the motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Ray, for your area addition, downriver is directed the river flows in. So this particular project is downriver from the casino, so the river flows from the west to the east.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That clarifies it. I'm directionally and nautically challenged for sure.
It's no big deal. I'm always happy.
Thank you.
Next section of our agenda is comprised of the audit, which we discussed in the audit committee, and a series of resolutions which are we take annually. We can walk through them. We also have in there, I believe, our annual meeting, which is the election of officers, and we are not proposing any changes in officers. So if you want to make a change on that list, now would be the time to speak up. Jamie, do you want to just read it to us quickly, and then what we're going to do is adopt the consent agenda so they'll all pass at once.
Mr. Chairman, I move that 2020 audit resolution and all the policy compliance resolutions combined as a consent agenda.
I'm going to take that as a motion to make a consent agenda. I think then the only other thing we need is to ask if anybody wants anything included with the consent agenda. But I should probably get a second on that.
I'll second it for 3.
All right. Now, does anyone wish to have any items included in the consent agenda? Hearing none, the items are included in the consent agenda. Jamie, are there any items that we need to know about or when need to be answered regarding any of these before I take a vote?
Yeah, as you know, on all of these items, they end up getting posted on the IDA website. Everything but the election of officers is submitted to the authority's budget office. It has to be done by the end of March. So as you said, it's kind of the pro forma work that has to be done. The policies are all unchanged. I would bring your attention to the mission statement and the performance measures for 2020. As we've talked about before, 2020 was actually a very strong year for the IDA with $77 million in projects that were approved. That does not include the completion of the Glenville Rail project, which was done very successfully. A big impact in the Glenville Park, but Pattersonville Solar is just getting underway. We had conversations with them, and just in the last week, we talked about Rivers Ledge. The Eddy Senior Center project was completed in early 2020. We've got this pending application from Chippy that we'll be talking about more later this year. But the other impressive part was the job reporting. Mark and David and staff have been working on this, collecting the reports, again, submission to the ABO. 6,652 jobs have been reported, which is an increase of 93 over last year. And we've had some projects drop off because their pilots were completed. So a real strong year, a good portfolio of projects, and it really shows the job creation effort that's going on. Pretty amazing in a very difficult year, but a lot of success to point to.
I will say amen to that.
Yes.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor of the consent agenda, signify by saying aye. Aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda passes. Item number 5 is other business. Any other business to come before the IDA?
I'd just like to say we had our annual kind of economic development report. We made it to the county legislature on Monday night this week. It's on the Metroplex website under results. You can click on and see a copy of the 2020 report. Encourage folks to take a look at that. We had a terrific meeting of the Rotterdam Planning Commission on Tuesday night. I want to thank Evan. He gave final approval to a 200,000 square foot building in the Rotterdam Corporate Park. And we moved along a very important retail project that is near and dear to the hearts of many Rotterdam residents. And we'll have more details about that as the project gets confirmed and moves along. But I want to thank Evan, and we had our county leadership as well involved to make sure that the meeting Tuesday night went really, really well. As Davey said, we had a great year. I want to thank the staff. We also dramatically improved the financial condition of the IDA by collecting these large fees, and had some great projects and more to come this year. So thank you.
Thanks, Greg. I'm glad to hear about the Five Corners project.
Excellent meeting Tuesday night. Probably the best planning board meeting I've ever been involved with, and I've been around a long time.
I mean, you guys have been busy. And I just want to congratulate and commend Ray and the whole staff. I am just blown away by all of the work that you've been able to get done in spite of the pandemic and everything that last year has thrown our way. So thank you.
Thank you. If anyone hasn't had a chance to, didn't have the opportunity to see that report or the presentation or download it, it's impressive. It's definitely your time to review. We did have a really good year. That's looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion for tonight's meeting.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor of adjourning the IDA board, signify by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
And our to the Capital Corporation, CRC board. And I will call to order the fiscal audit committee of CRC. This is reviewing the 2020 audit of the capital reserve. And I think I need to probably take a motion in a second for the audit committee to discuss the audit review. So I'll ask for a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Jamie, do you want to, you and Marty want to lead the discussion on the audit for us, please?
Yeah, so this is pretty much the same type of review as the IDA. Cusack and Company performed the audit in February. It's another clean and qualified opinion that they have provided us with no adverse findings. There were no issues. We have included in your packet the statement itself, the management letter, and it shows and notes going along with it. There's nothing unusual in any of the materials. As you know, the CRC was pretty dormant last year and the year before, so there's not a lot to report about. Ending the year with $21,939 cash in the bank. Not a lot of activity to report, unfortunately, but we're here to help if something else pops up. But that's the report, which will get filed with the authority's budget office and get posted on the CRC website.
Yeah, I have a motion in a second. All in favor of the fiscal audit committee approving the audit and recommending it to the agenda for the CRC board, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I have a motion and a second to adjourn the fiscal audit committee.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
We will call to order the board meeting of the Capital Resource Corporation. First item on our agenda is the approval of minutes from the December 4th, 2020 meeting. May I have a motion? Second.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes of December 4th.
Second, Rosemary.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Next item is treasurer's report. May I have a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion to accept the report. Second.
I'll second.
The motion and the second. Amy, Maureen, do you want to just pretty brief, but we'll just take the details, please.
Yeah, I found this one. So there's, as you can see, no activity to report through the end of February. Cash on hand is at just under $22,000, and I'm sure we'll have an expenditure on the audit coming up soon, but that's where it stands at this point.
Thanks. Any other questions? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Item number 3 is the consent agenda. This is essentially the same set of steps that we took in the previous meeting. Start the motion and second on the consent agenda.
So moved, Rosemary.
I'll second.
Does anyone wish to have anything removed from the consent? Hearing none. Jamie, you just want to hit the highlights here, perhaps discuss the mission statement and the performance measures, and that's probably really most of it, but.
Yeah, so again, all of this gets submitted to the authority's budget office, and will get posted on the CRC website, because there was not any projects in 2020. The performance report is fairly standard, with showing that there were no new investments last year. So pretty basic, trimmed down, nothing really to report on it, but we are obviously complying with the requirements of the authority's budget office. If there's any questions, I can answer them.
Just a comment, while we didn't have any projects, the CRC did finance or help finance the bonds were issued to the CRC. The Union College's new $100 million science center, which is very important to the future of the college. So we should take note of that. And that building opened last year. We were working with both Clarkson and Union on some projects. Because of COVID, they had to shift their attention to, different things, health and safety, their students and workforce. So we're hoping to get back into some project modes, but the CRC has proven to be a very useful tool, and we thank the legislature for setting it up, and we stand ready to assist large nonprofits do large capital projects with this device, and hopefully we'll have some more activity this year.
One would hope. Motion is second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. We're voting on the consent agenda. Aye.
Aye.
The other business to come before the CRC.
Hearing,
I have a motion and a second to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
CRC board is adjourned. Business is done, folks.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.